Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Bonita and I have adhesive arachnoiditis. It was caused by an epidural puncture to my spinal cord during a procedure for a herniated disc. And I have multiple symptoms that result from that. It is nerve clumping and nerve damage that continues to clump more nerves together as it progresses. So I have involuntary movements, I have muscle spasms, muscle pain, I have sciatica pain, lower back pain, I get muscle knots, I get seizing up of the back, I get burning sensations, tingling sensations, all of those things. And you just never know what you're going to get. Every day is different depending on where there is pressure on that clump of nerves. So every day is different. I also have osteoarthritis. And of course, I also have the herniated discs. I also have some torn ligaments in my feet and my wrists. And so I have a lot of chronic pain. So if you are here for chronic pain ideas to help, this is where we share those ideas. So welcome. I titled this When You Hurt Too Bad to Get Better, because I feel like there are times that we feel like that. We want to get better, but we hurt too bad to do any of the things to try to get ourselves in better condition to get better. It's hard to exercise. It's hard to move around. It's hard to do things just easily like walking or sitting or standing or resting well enough. So this video, I'm going to share with you things that I have found that help me. Now, it's a whole bag of tricks that I'm going to share with you today. A lot of these are trial and error, and you will have to do the same for yourself to figure out what works for you. But I have a bag of tricks that I pull out when I start having problems in different areas, and I'm going to share all of that with you. Now, a lot of people ask me, where do you get this? Where do you get that? So I'm going to put links in the description box for your use. If you do purchase something from there, it does give me some affiliate income, which I appreciate, which helps this channel. But these things are things that I personally use, and they do help me. So rest, of course, is important, and it's hard to rest if you're hurting. My doctor put me on a low dose muscle relaxer called tizanidine. I take one of those at bedtime. It has helped with my muscle spasms and my muscle cramps. Now, if I start to get a cramp, it usually will work itself out. Before this, I could get a cramp that would last up to 3 days. And the cramps were just so horrendous and I couldn't get them to stop. So I'm so thankful that he gave me that. That has been a lifesaver. My nerve specialist put me on amitriptyline. Amitriptyline is a chronic pain pill that I take at bedtime. It is not a narcotic, and it is a low dose, but it has helped me be able to not have to change positions like every 5 or 10 minutes. I couldn't get any rest because no matter how I laid, something was hurting. And so that has helped me be able to stay laying and stay asleep longer, which has helped me tremendously. Now, both of those things can be given to you by your regular physician. They're not anything special. It just took me going to multiple specialists to find out what combination worked for me. And then they turned those prescriptions over to my regular physician who orders those for me. I know a lot of us have difficulty getting our physicians to prescribe things for us. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that I do and have and use on my own that are not physician related. Now, I do take a series of vitamins that I feel like help me a lot. The vitamins I take are magnesium glycinate. That helps with chronic pain, muscle spasms, muscle cramps. So I do take that. I take vitamin D3. I take B12, which is supposed to help with nerve regeneration. I take fish oil, which one of my friends takes that, and she says that it helps her joints so much with her arthritis. So I do take fish oil. And I also take glucosamine, which is another over-the-counter medicine that's a supplement that helps my joints not hurt so bad with my osteoarthritis. There's been times before where I hurt so bad I couldn't hardly take a step. I felt like my hip was going to give out because it just felt like it was bone on bone, like in your knees and your hips. Glucosamine helps rebuild that cushion in there. And so that has been a lifesaver for me as well. Now, when I do get those horrendous cramps or muscle spasms that would not stop, we were so desperate that we got this old Amish formula. It's for leg and foot cramps. They've changed the name of it. I'll link it in the description below. But this has been a lifesaver for me. I would get cramps that were so severe that we started keeping this by my chair in the living room so my husband could quickly get it, splash some on me, rub it in to try to get the cramp to subside. It does work. It says it works in about a minute, and it's not lying. And so, when you have a cramp, it's like you are trying to hold your foot or hold your leg and try to work it out. So it almost takes somebody right there to help you. But I carry this with me. I carried it with me when I camp. I carry it with me when I travel. I carry it with me all the time for emergencies because those cramps are so severe that I have to have something to stop that cramp. I also try to limit my lifting, my bending, my pulling, my pushing. I have to be real cautious about that because if I do too much of that, it can make me hurt for about 3 days. So when I go to get groceries and I come home, I load them into my wagon. I pull my wagon to my door and I unload them and I put them away. Just that little bit can cause my back to hurt for up to 3 days. So I use my wagon for everything. We are constantly wearing the wheels off of my wagon. My husband just bought some very heavy duty ones that won't need replaced all the time because that's how much I was using it to try to avoid lifting. Now I switched over to using Chewy, and I have a link in the description if you are interested in that. It would help me out a lot. But I switched to that when they have good deals to be able to buy my cat food in bulk. And then it's delivered right to my door. And all I have to do is get it inside. I don't have to buy it in the store, take it to my car, load it in my wagon when I get home, pull it into the house, unload it. I only have to get it from outside my door into my house. And that has helped me tremendously, that pet food coming straight to my door. So I highly recommend that. The prices are very comparable to grocery stores, but it's delivered to your door, and they run specials quite a bit where you can get it even cheaper than getting it at the grocery store. So if you have a cat or a dog, I highly recommend that to keep you from lifting your bags of cat food and dog food. I also will have my husband use pressure points on me. Now, I have nerve damage, so I will get a lot of pain sometimes in my wrists, in my thumbs from arthritis, and he will press either right here or right in here, and it will hurt so bad when he hits that nerve that is just on fire. And then he will hold it for about a minute. Usually that's about all I can stand. But when he gets done, my wrist doesn't hurt. My thumb doesn't hurt. It's amazing. So pressure points are huge. So if you have something that's hurting like that, look up where your pressure points might be to help relieve the pain for that area that you are frequently having pain in. And I can even do that for myself if needed because mine are on my wrist and my thumb. So my thumb has actually pulled away from my hand on both sides because of my osteoarthritis. So I will get excruciating pain in my thumb bed and that helps so much. And then my wrists are not good. I have like torn ligaments in my wrists, so that will help my wrist pain as well. It's just amazing. Just that little bit of pressure for a little bit of time will take care of it for hours. I also have a massager. It is handheld. I have that linked in the description. Now I do have to have someone help me use that. And I have to wrestle the cat for it because for some reason the cat thinks the massager is for her. And every time we turn it on, no matter where she's at in the house, she comes running because she thinks she's getting a back massage. So I have to take turns with the cat and we have to make sure it's fully charged. But he will use that on my back. And it's amazing with my nerve damage. The pain won't be necessarily in my spine. It will be on the sides, like around my kidney area, and it wraps around my side. So in that soft area wrapping around your side, that's where a lot of my pain will be. And that's where I end up having him use that massager, and him using it there then releases where my back is seizing up everywhere else. I do have a foldable cane. I keep it in my car. I take it with me if I'm going to be walking any distance at all. It makes a huge difference. I've taken it to the state fair and used it. I've taken it to the botanical gardens and used it. And if I have that with me and I use that, it keeps me from hurting so bad once I get back home. If I walk very long, I know that because of my pain, I walk with my balance off. I walk with my posture off because I'm hurting. And so I keep adjusting to try to make my pain better. And by doing that, it creates pain in other areas. So using that cane keeps my posture better, which in the end makes me not hurt after those long walks. And it also helps my balance tremendously. My balance is not good, but when I use the cane, I'm able to keep better balance and not stagger around on the sidewalk bumping into people. I also really love this acupressure pillow. I also have a mat. My daughter got this for me when I was diagnosed. These are very sharp and pokey, because it's like acupuncture, but it's acupressure. And I move this around and use it, especially when I'm driving. Sometimes when I'm driving or sitting for long periods of time in the car, I will hurt terrible. This keeps me from having to pull over, and I can move it around. And even if I move it like in my upper back and my lower back is hurting, sometimes it will fix that problem. It directs the sensation signals to wherever this is at, and it releases the pain signals. And this is just amazing. This has been a lifesaver so that I can travel. And sometimes when nothing else is working, I grab that and use it in my recliner. I use it in my desk chair. I keep that with me at all times, no matter where I go. My daughter is a yoga therapist. Now, she specializes in doing yoga with people who are in pain or have anxiety or stress. And she has given me some very gentle movements and some different exercises I can do that work for my particular situation for my lower back pain. I did an earlier video about some of the positions that I do. So I'm going to share some clips of that next, of some of the exercises that I do. And then I'm also going to link a yoga pose chart with some other ones that I do that help relieve my pain and help stretch out some of those seized, crampy muscles so that I'm not hurting so bad. If I can take just 15 to 20 minutes and do this every few days, I function so much better. So I'm going to insert that clip now, and then I'll be right back. I lay down and I lift my legs up as far as I can, and I rock. I rock to try to make this part of my back feel better. And sometimes I can hear things popping and crackling, and sometimes I just have big knots down there that I'm trying to maybe massage out a little bit. Sometimes it helps to kind of go in a circle if I can. That helps. Sometimes, lifting my head up puts more weight on that area. And I know not everybody can get down, but and it's hard to get back up. Getting down, sometimes you can fall part of the way down, but getting back up is hard. That I do is I do this downward facing dog thing that you can do in yoga. And so that helps my lower back. And if I can get on my tippy toes just a bit, again, it stretches more right here, which is where a lot of my pain is. Or I just try to reach down to my ankles and just hold this position. And I realize not everybody can do these things. Ice also works for me. I do a lot of ice in the evenings. We also hear things about diet being so important for our health. And I know that in my personal situation, when I went off of gluten because my husband became gluten intolerant, my joints quit hurting. I was able to walk better, walk more normally, walk faster. And I could not believe that my hips, my knees, my elbows, my shoulders all felt better. So doing a little food diary sometimes can help because some of those things will aggravate our pain and we don't even realize it because it's food. Why would we even question that we can't eat a whole wheat piece of bread, right? Because whole wheat's supposed to be better for us. But I have found that the more wheat I eat, the more I hurt. So my daughter also made me some essential oil pain relief stuff. She gets like a little 4-ounce bottle and it just has like a little spray. You can pick that up just about anywhere. It's a little glass bottle and she puts 3/4 of it of light sesame oil. You could also use grapeseed oil. It has to have a base oil. And again, I'll link those below if you're interested. We make our own at home. She also uses about 15 drops of tea tree oil in that mixture and about 15 drops of nutmeg oil in that mixture. Those are anti-inflammatories. Some people also use like jojoba oil, or I don't know how you pronounce it. They also use that. That's an anti-inflammatory, or eucalyptus oil. That's also an anti-inflammatory. So you can play with that and see what works for you. But those work for me tremendously. And I use those a lot of times on my wrists. Like my wrist has some torn ligaments. I have a little lump right there where my ligament is torn. You can probably see it. The doctor could repair it, but he said if he did, I would never be able to bend my wrist like this again. It would always be straight. So I chose not to have that surgery, but sometimes it will hurt so bad. And I use that oil on there and it takes the pain right out. I've also used that oil on my back and had my husband massage it in when I'm hurting awful, and it works wonderful. So I will link those oils below, but that's how she makes that in that little 4-ounce container, and she'll make several bottles of it at once, and it lasts me for years. I think we usually make 3 or 4 bottles of that little 4 ounces, and it'll probably last me 2 years or longer before I have to make it again. So that is a wonderful, wonderful trick in the bag that I use. Of course, they say drinking water helps, especially if you have arthritis or pain in your joints. So I try to drink plenty of water. I try to walk as much as I can on the days that I'm feeling better. And on the days that I'm not feeling so good, I take it more easy. The last couple of days, my left foot has been killing me because I have a fallen arch. And so I've taken it easy the last couple of days because it feels like every time I take a step, my foot is going to break. Now I have inserts, I have arch support, I have all of that. That also helps. But good shoes with arch support are a game changer. If you don't have good shoes with arch support, your back will hurt, your legs will hurt, your feet will hurt. It can cause sciatica pain. So good shoes with good arch support Make sure that you have those, because all of those other pains can come from that. And sometimes just a good pair of shoes can stop a lot of that pain that you're having. And then hopefully when you combine some of these, or you have these tricks that you can pull out when you're hurting, then you can rest better, because rest is so important. And without rest, it is hard to heal, and it is hard to feel like you want to do much of anything. And the more we can move about and keep our blood circulating, especially when we have problems like mine that decrease the circulation in our lower extremities, it is so important to keep that movement going. So pull out some of these tricks. See if they will help you so you can keep moving to keep that circulation going, because just poor circulation alone can cause the burning and the stinging and the pain. I was also waking up a lot of times with headaches during the night and in the morning. I've also had some neck injuries, and then of course I have the back injury. So I got myself a new pillow, and I got a cooling, firm pillow. That has helped me not wake up with headaches. That has been a lifesaver. So sometimes just these simple things like changing our pillow, getting different shoes, can make such a difference in our day-to-day life. And there's such simple things that we can do. I have also listed Dr. Tennant's contact information in the description box below. He has made it his life's work to study arachnoiditis. If I remember correctly, I think he has a son who suffers from this. But he will look at your MRIs for free and give you a consultation for free, send you a treatment plan for free that you can share with your physician. And when I called, he answered the phone personally. I cried. I was so happy to be able to talk to him. He's from Kansas, like me originally, and now he lives in California. He is elderly, and he and his wife are still doing this because they believe in it so much. So if this video has brought any value to you, the biggest thing you can do for me is give me a thumbs up. That would help so much. I want to get this information out to people to try to help people with chronic pain. I know what it's like to live with it. It can be so depressing, so discouraging, but I want to give others hope that we can have good days in the future. Thanks for watching today, and I hope to see you in the next video.